Good evening, everyone. My name is Edgar, and you're watching Historical Conspiracies. Coming up this evening, we have a second installment in our Mysteries You Probably Never Heard Of series. If you would like, you can check this out on our, we have posted this list on Bizvinable so that you guys can vote and rank them up or down based on your favorites. And when you guys do that, I read them in the order in which they are ranked by you. So that decides the order in which they will show up in our episode. Alright, so that being said, let's get on to our list. Alright, boys and ghouls, it is time. Number 1. King Vampire of the Undead. December 21st, 1969, a young man named David Farrand stayed at the North London Cemetery. He saw a shadowy gray figure and wrote the newspaper about it. Soon, a large amount of newspaper readers started sending in their own accounts of this figure. It is believed that the king vampire of the undead who practiced black magic has been patrolling the grounds because it is his burial site. Well, I don't know about that. I think that might be worth a little bit more digging. How about you guys? Number 2. The Tale of the Frightening Sisters. On February 2nd, 1933, Christine and Leah Papin were sisters. They were 27 and 21 years old. Apparently they attacked and tore out the eyes of their employer with their bare hands. They continued to bludgeon and slice the rest of the family using things they found around the house. The investigators discovered them in a bed together, nude, with a bloody hammer next to them. They confessed immediately. Ooh, that is creepy. I might. Number 3. The Dark Bridge. In 1994, a man named Kevin Moy threw his baby off Overton Bridge in Scotland. He believed that the baby was the Antichrist. Now that's a little crazy, but that isn't even the weirdest thing that happens at Overton Bridge. For the past 50 years, for example, dogs have been randomly jumping to their deaths for no reason. There are signs to try to prevent this from happening, including signs that keep a close eye on your dog. But apparently it continues. That is just fascinating. And those poor dogs. Number 4. An Unwelcome Guest from the Skies. On June 20th, 1908, Superman landed on Earth. No, not really. But, well, maybe. Because a giant fireball crossed the Russian sky in Siberia and destroyed 80 million trees and burned hundreds of animals dead in its wake. This was felt as far away as Britain, and apparently no one knows what it was. Number 5. The Disappearance of Dennis Martin. On June 14th, 1969, little 6-year-old Dennis Martin disappeared at the National Park in the Smoky Mountains. He and his 2 little brothers ducked out really quick in their own individual hiding spots. so that they could jump out and scare their dad. So they had to be pretty close to each other physically at this point. Well, two of them jumped out, and Dennis just vanished, never to be seen again. Disappeared on June 14th, 1969 at Spence Field in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. After extensive search efforts, no trace has been found. Well, that is mysterious. I mean, being that close to other people makes it a little spooky that someone can just vanish. Well, and that is the end of our list for today. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe stirred a little bit of inspiration to go and do your own research. If you have any information on these, or possibly if you would like, us to dedicate an entire episode to one of these topics because you want to know more, you just let us know in the comments below. And be sure to hop over to bizbendable.com so you can rate our lists and check out our other content there. We'll be for sure putting up some polls and fun things like that. So, alright, so on that note, I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week. And once again, my name is Edgar, and you're watching Historical Conspiracies. Have a creepy day. 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 I don't have time for this. I'm screwing around when I should be recording sound and making videos for Mystcon so that people know what the show is on and they can go hang with us and have a great night all night long. Even though it's creepy, it's not wrong. Mystcon is so cool, you see. Come and watch Mystcon with me. Bye.